Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone. A warm namaste from my side here. I am your webinar speaker for today, and my name is Ashish Sadekar. And I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is the use cases in a program. No, this topic is typically I got it. Okay, it was suggested by some people. Okay, it is one of the trending topics as we put it in Chat GPT as well. But a lot of many times when I do this PgMP workshops, I realize that many people cannot visualize what is a program. No, in their from their day-to-day work. So it's become very difficult for them, okay, that what is the difference between a project and a program? What exactly is a program? People do not have the right examples because one of the reasons people do not have the right examples because people do not work in a fashion which our PMI guide or a program management school of thought says to do that. So they work in a very different fashion and do not use the principles and the way of working of a program. If you do that, you can get enormous benefits. So, so here I am trying to use a little practical way of doing things because I had done with many concepts uh, of what is a program, what are the domains of a program, how a program needs to be done, why it needs to be done, what are the benefits. So let's use something which is different and say a practical use cases of a program. So I thought that that can be a good relevant something for you to take away from this 1 hour investment that you guys are doing. So this is about me. I this is something which I love to do. Not no right to do a lot of research no in the project management stuff. No, right now I'm working with a lot of good companies and understanding their way of thinking. So it helps this profession to get in touch with a lot of people, understand their way of working. And no, I love program management or project management, and I love doing these webinars as well. So let us go directly to what is a program first, and then I'm trying to get into some use cases. So before I do this, I thought of understanding how do you understand a program? Okay. So I want your understanding of program. Okay. I'm not given the exact definition of a program as per the book textbook kind of a definition, but I have just put some options here. I want you to tell me which is your best option. Come on, everyone. There are a lot many people registered, but I do not see so many people joined. Okay. I hope they join in the next. Okay, the no, people join from 8 o'clock to 8:10. So I'm hoping for some more to join. Okay, please. Okay, only 62% participated. Okay, I will not take more time, but this is like a warm-up poll. Okay, I know it was a very long day. There are more Indians who have joined than from outside today. So I will just end the poll. I know the choices were not very crystal clear, but this is how you have, I'm sharing the result. Okay. So a big majority had chosen the fourth one, which is manage interdependencies between multiple projects. And there are some which are saying manage multiple complex projects. So I'm not going to reveal the answer, But okay, many people say projects and programs are different, which is almost all. So, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to stop this and I'm going to proceed for the next slide. So, programs is a concept which has evolved and kind of getting its due recognition in the post COVID era. The primary reason for that is the world is changing fast. With changing fast, it means we are entering into an uncertain, ambiguous world where what you need to do needs to be very clear, and you need to have a little experimental way of doing things, which we call a learning spiral way of doing things. And the learning spiral methods are also agile methods. So if you have seen post COVID, there was okay a boom in agility. It's similar for program management. Now we are talking of, at this juncture there is a AI summit, which is, it's a grand scale, which is happening in India, New Delhi. You will see the way AI projects also needs to be done has some learning based outcome method. So it's like a little spiral way of doing things. So we also do this managing AI. It's a PMI certification called CPMI. The idea is to manage in loops. Program management is of a similar learning outcome, but it has components as projects and operations. But I'm not going into the semantics of program today. I'm going to talk about the practical case study so you can visualize, relate from your day-to-day work and what is program management. Right? So what is program management? Okay, there are keywords: to obtain benefits and not control, okay, by managing projects individually. So what I mean, what is a program? It's a group of related means there is some interdependency between that projects, which are the program components, so that I achieve a strategic alignment, which is a strategic objective of the organizations, the benefits, which cannot be done if I do the projects individually. So ideally, the projects delivers like deliverables or a product or a service. We call it output. Whereas the program, when the output is consumed, so I deliver, say, a product, a ERP system, but when I start using, entering the data and I start using, I get, by using them, reduced time of transaction. It's a benefit. I call it a program. So programs deliver outcomes or benefits. So when a capability is consumed, is used, consume means I use that, then it translates. When you start using it after a certain time, it becomes an asset and that accrues into benefits. The program is focused on that. Okay, so let's understand, my topic for the day is practical, okay, no no kind of thing. So if I have to say a project, okay, like implementing a CRM system, a program would be, by doing that, how I can enhance my customer experience. So the program can involve various projects, like, the it's a CRM implementation project itself. So if I started my career with Siebel, and then I went to Oracle CRM, and I did a lot of CRM projects. Like, then I was heading the Microsoft Dynamics, which is a CRM thing. So CRM is one project. It's one thing which you implement, but then you actually do maybe an analytics project. Okay, then onboarding, the training. Okay, all these are different projects. If I do this collectively, I will get the objective, which is enhancing customer experience, or the objective will be result in higher customer satisfaction, whatever the CSAT, and we can measure that, right? Alone, this cannot be done. Okay, if it done individual, it will not give that benefit. Now I'm going to take specific use cases. I had planned three, but then I said in the webinar I will do two. Okay, so let me go into enterprise digital transformation, which no I had done for a big financial institution. So a traditional bank is modernizing its digital presence. So I had, for one of a speaking event, I met the Digital Bank of Singapore, DBS, and it was some years back, and they were actually doing their motto was, okay, to there no branch, or no physical branch, everything will be digital. So they want to actually do everything digital. And the projects in that to make it digital would be mobile app. Okay, the core banking, you need to have a digital when you are doing banking stuff. So cyber security, the onboarding automation, which I just talked about, anywhere you can just access anywhere and open the account anywhere. Okay, so this are the different projects, even staffing training program, which lot of this program is a sub program of this big program. So these are the various projects for the matter we are considering. Okay, if I do these projects, okay, if I manage them together, I will achieve the requisite benefits. I will tell you in the next slide as well. But if I do it individually, okay, and if I do not manage the dependencies among each other, this will result in what I call, okay, a chaotic, okay, environment. This will delay your projects. This will hamper negatively your customer experience. This will not able to achieve what you want to achieve as a digital presence. So, or it will take a much longer time. Given a program, lot is at stake, right? So if you delay it, then your cost increases, your motive, the stakeholder engagement decreases. We all know about that. So lot is at stake if I delay it, especially in the current environment, which I said is moving fast. So programs become a lot important if I don't do this, right? So what does the program manager helps in doing this? Okay, given this use case of modernizing the digital transformation in the bank. One, strategic alignment, right? So he helps to align to the objective by developing a business case and trying to build, which we call critical success factor. And for each critical success factor, we call the KPIs to measure the things. So the program manager brings that alignment through a artifact called a business case, and that's a very different and a systematic way of doing a program, which a lot of organizations miss it. They do not do this. This is more on hear and say, because I think the business case is a logical way of doing a feasibility analysis. Okay, you account for risk, you account for what is your capacity and capability of doing that particular program vision. So this is the first thing that you do. Everything is cyclical, but I'm just saying that how the program manager is helping. Okay. The second important thing is the interdependencies. If there are multiple components which is happening in the program, right? So the program manager at a macro view is doing a roadmap. The project manager is doing his project schedule. But the dependencies between the various projects are managed by the program manager. I think it's a key task. Even in agile programs, or if we are done safe or something like a program increment, we do a planning flow event where, okay, we just for 2 days understand the dependencies if it's a quarterly release. Very important aspect of doing a agile program or any agile project, because you need to resolve the dependencies. You need to get commitments from different teams in that event, what is called a program increment or a planning flow event. PMI calls it a planning flow event. And you need to get that commitment, and unless you get the commitment, you can't release the projects. Okay, so this is a very important aspect of the program manager. There are a lot of many things. I'm just summarizing from a use case. The third thing is the benefits realization. Okay. So here we need to ensure the program manager that if the whatever the outputs the projects are delivering, are they getting consumed by the audience? Are there some changes required? And I measure against the KPIs which I have put it in the business case. So I actually are analyzing my first vision, that are my benefits aligning to strategic objective? My strategic objective, whether it's like a digital no experience my team, no my program is getting. If yes, okay, I will try to align my projects, or no, I can start an enhancement project, etc. So this is the third thing that we'll do. And the fourth thing, okay, is the right structure the program manager ensures. So, and the decision making, the governance, right? So having the right policies, the decision making, okay, facilitating the decision making. The program manager alone doesn't make decisions. There is a governance board or the body which makes the decisions. So I think these are no some important parameters which the program manager does in managing a program. I think you might be knowing, but I'm just putting a perspective of know how it is being done. And this is something, if you visualize, you will understand the PGMP in a much better way, right? Again, another case study, okay, is ERP implementation. Now, this I actually used to do ERP a lot. In ERP, there are various functions that you develop, like a finance, HR, supply chain. Then you migrate the data so that the right data structure, right data is imported in the ERP system. Okay, all these are different projects and they are fairly large projects. I had done ERP implementations for like very large organizations, and each project has been going on for many months. Okay, they are interrelated with each other. So this is also a program. So anyone who is managing a large ERP, okay, it's not a project according to me, it's a program. Why it is a program? Because, okay, you are dealing with various projects and trying to align, integrate. Okay, why you're doing ERP, the objective is to reduce transactions, for example, or bringing transparency in your system, whatever. So you are, okay, trying to integrate the various aspects of different projects and trying to maintain a good balance. Okay, good balance means optimizations, doing trade-offs between. Suppose a finance module requires more resources against a data migration, you will try to balance it out. Okay, resolve the conflicts and ensure that everything is properly aligned to the objectives. So this is your program manager's role. In this current thing, I have seen a lot of conflicts happen, because then there is like, I want a standardized process across no the entire organization, but the local units. Like we did it from Microsoft. Every region itself is very different in Microsoft, and there are some exceptions for some regions. So, like the finance wants some standardization, some regions want their own way of doing things, right? So, the program manager here does this conflict resolution. How I can satisfy all stakeholders without doing a lot of trade-offs or getting the securing the support of lot many important stakeholders like a CFO or a finance. They are the facilitators between the stakeholder and the governance board. A lot of time of the program managers goes into this, right? Another factor which goes the important time of program manager is into change management. So I did a big kind of a program, and in one project was a single window clearance portal, which I did for a government entity where it was supposed to make things transparent. It was for an industrial state government industrial unit. So all the people who apply for this industrial plots or approvals, etc. It wanted to be transparent, but there were middlemen involved. So when earlier, because there was non-digitization, earlier there was no digitization, there was tendering process, and nobody used to know how the tendering process was getting done. And many felt that it was a biased thing. So government wanted to do digitization, so it will be transparent. Okay. And when we actually did the project, everything went well, functionality was good. But when it was launched, nobody used that single window clearance portal, right? Nobody used that. And then there, no, as per the contract, we had done the work, we went away. Okay, we were the vendor for the government. 2 years, the portal was like that only. Then they employed PwC, and then they started training the people, understanding what the users want, and no started adopting and enhancing that portal so that they can use the portal in the manner they wish to do, right? So I got the award for delivering the project because that was the best project I did, but it was not used because a lot of these things happened. It was not used because a lot of these things happened here. Especially, I was at that time a project manager, but here a program manager plays a very important role. After the benefit, the project is done, he tries to sustain the work done by introducing trainings. Okay, what is needed to enhance the product so that people can use it. Okay, they know they can actually try to talk with the operations if it's a large organization, how they can actually sustain this whole product in for a longer time. All this is a work of a program manager, right? So program managers go beyond a project. Okay, they are there to sustain the benefit, make that as an asset for the organization. So program manager is both a decision maker and a decision executor. They are the bridge between the top management and the people on the ground. Program management is strategic, project management is tactical in nature, right? So if I have to summarize the program manager, because many people do not understand, they think that program manager is an extension of a project manager. However, the program manager's sphere of work is completely different than a project manager. His skill set, his way of thinking is completely different than a project manager. So when I say a program manager does a roadmap planning, He is aligning the interdependencies and pacing the benefits when I want to release what output of the project and how I want to manage the interdependencies. How is my user ready to take the benefit? How I can align my projects accordingly. So roadmap is very important. Okay. Under stakeholder, now, tools and techniques will be very similar to projects, but the canvas of program managers' engagement with stakeholder is completely different. They are working with executive level alignments. They are trying to align stakeholders and giving them the macro picture. So it is a different ball game altogether. So when I do my PgMP workshops, many people know, kind of appreciate that stakeholder is way different for a program manager. In my workshop, 90 to 95% of the people have not worked in real programs. They work on projects, but with a lot of seniority. They have worked in projects for a longer time. But incidentally, many organizations do not do programs in the manner they need to do. So many people do not have that kind of exposure to the programs, and therefore the experience of many practitioners is limited for the programs, right? So when I do risk reviews, a program manager reviews the risk at the program level. He doesn't take care of the risk at the project level. Like for example, suppose there is a vendor who is a big threat to one project, but the same vendor is working with other multiple projects, then that risk should be escalated at the program level. Okay. There is in project management, they introduced some 5 years back a fifth strategy called escalate, but many people didn't understand what is escalate. Escalate means the program, because the risk is affecting multiple projects, or the event of the risk is there at multiple projects, the risk should be taken by the program manager and should not be handled at the project management level. The program manager assesses this entire thing about the risk reviews, and he should handle that risk. So, and how it can impact multiple projects, he needs to assess that. So this, the finer nuances, this will help you to deliver the program, because program management is about blind tunnel. I can do 100 projects efficiently, but unless I get the necessary output, it doesn't work. It's money spent. You want the returns of money in X, 2X, 3X, 4X, or 10X format, right? So I do this all the things when I do programs. A program manager is doing the things like budget is not only limited, okay, to understanding, okay, whether I'm getting the cost, am I doing it at cost? I'm also optimizing the cost where I should use for maximum benefit, which component of the program I should put more money, what is the risk of this component to give me the benefits. I will check all these things. Sometimes program manager along with finance also secure funds depending on the programs is doing. So they're involved in financing as well sometimes. But this is interesting. I just give a snapshot. Okay. What I know, there is a lot more to this. Okay. Limited time. So I'm not going into that. But this is a program manager skill set. So the capabilities, like you said, one is interdependency, dependency management, macro management. Okay. The overall thinking. Also, it's strategic in nature. I will choose outcomes. For the outcomes, I need to terminate a project. I will do that if that project is not getting the required benefits, right? So all these things, okay, decision making very important. Which projects should initiate, which project to choose among the various projects. In our PGMP, in the guide, it's not written how to do the impact analysis or decision making. So in our class, we do that. Okay, how you can choose projects. The guide is very dry. It has not given, unfortunately, examples. So you need to understand how a program manager should make decisions, how you should choose the project components, on what basis. The governance board decides that, but no. So there should be some method to the madness. So all these things is what the program manager is doing. I hope you're getting some kind of idea about what is program manager is doing and how it is different than a project manager. Like I given one example of real decision making in a program, right? Generally, no, I had done a BI program for a very large telco, okay, telecom company. And there were at a time 9 or 10 projects which are happening. One of the key things, okay, the program manager handles key resources. One is architect. So there are two projects. One is low impact but urgently requires the senior architect to fix it. The other project is at high strategic value. Okay, it was about a data warehouse that we were building, but it had a longer time duration. The other project has a low impact, but it needed something urgently to be fixed. So the program manager will have some resource prioritization decision making depending on the parameters and the weightage of each parameter, which will differ from each program to program. And we can build an algorithm to prioritize resources accordingly. So you just need to input some values. So this is something which is very unique. It can't be just gut or intuition. A project managers cannot make this kind of decisions independently. So I'm just giving you a idea about how program manager is way different than project management, right? I had done this multiple times. There as I had taken one webinar on what is the difference between program and project. I spoke for around 1 hour. But this is about, okay, the project management and the program management. Like I said already, deliver outputs. This is about outcomes, which the outputs, if I consume it, kind of makes into a outcome, right? Project management, scope, time, cost, triple constraint. So scope here, it is strategic objective. Strategic objective, improve customer satisfaction experience, increase revenue, strategic objective. Right? Timelines. Here, benefits, value, long term. Okay. This is project risk, narrow view, macro view, broad views of the risk. Right? So here, as I talked, okay, how I can make returns on the money I invest. Okay, here is managing the cost. I given 100 rupees, how can deliver within 100 rupees. Project mindset. A program mindset is way different than a project mindset. So a lot of people, when they actually do PgMP, they are doing programs, no doubt. But okay, this is my observation. I may be wrong, but my experience suggests they still do the programs with the project mindset. For doing a program, you need to unlearn, okay, and get into the program mindset. It is very advantageous that you already know the nuances of managing a project, because project management, a program manager has to deal with a project manager. So knowing how a project needs to be done is definitely a plus point, but you need to unlearn the mindset of a project manager. A project manager mindset is very detail oriented, meticulous, reliable, focused. A program manager's mindset is completely different than a project management mindset. So, like I said, okay, the mindset of a project manager, tactical, strategic, right? So, triple constraint for a project manager, benefits realization for a program manager. Okay, stakeholders are generally predictable. You get a buy-in from the stakeholders for a project manager. It will be a diverse. Okay, I had attended a GST meeting which was there as a central committee and the central GST in India. They had done some years back and state government GST. There were 700 stakeholders. They used to do the meeting among the various committees in a five-star banquet halls, which cannot be probably done. The stakeholders are known upfront in a projects. Different way of doing things, right? So program management is okay, way different than project management. So when we go into details, we understand the nuances on how you manage risk, how you do governance policies, okay, how you handle different stakeholders, what is the tools and technique, what is the framework of doing that. It's very important for a program manager. How to define a CSF, how to define a no, KPIs for a CSF. The things are what we do in program management. So it's a very, very good subject, not widely implemented in organizations, but the right time to be implemented. One of the things I feel why it is not implemented, because the leadership is not aware about program management. Okay, and therefore people are little reluctant to experiment. It's not as widely available or aware as project management. But I hope this is increasing, okay, because I can see we get nowadays a better response than 2 years back, right? These are some of the skill set. This slide I had used in my earlier webinar. So some might have seen this slide, but the idea of telling you this slide in continuation with what I did, just to tell you that programs have tacit knowledge, implicit knowledge than projects, which are explicit skills, which is like problem solving, planning, explicit. Here, charisma, okay, networking, political acumen. A program manager, which I say is a business savvy individual, a very macro guy who understand the nuances of projects as well. Okay, is a great facilitator, okay, has a lot of this tacit skills than explicit skills, right? Yeah. So I had time myself on this webinar, right? I will certainly open it for questions and answers as well. For 15 minutes, we have the question and answers. But before I open it up, I just want to summarize, okay, whatever I spoke for the last 40 minutes. Uh, Program managers manage multiple projects, but they do not micromanage each project. That is what the project managers do. So it's not like a reporting boss, okay, for a project manager. The project managers are accountable for that projects and they have the various skill sets like the PMP, etc. They are well competent to do that. Manager is not more competent than a project manager to manage projects. His skill set, like I said, is way different than a project manager. Okay. So what he does is at a different level. He has the macro view and he is trying to manage the interdependencies. Why? Between the projects. Why? Because I can know release the output and therefore the benefits at a certain pace. It cannot be sooner, I like agility, but at a pace where my operations or my consumers or my customers are ready to consume the products, right? So benefit realization is a very important aspect, aligning with what my organization strategically wants. A project manager sometimes forget what my organization wants. He's so much busy, involved, passionate about his project objective, forgets the rest of the world, which the program manager needs to remind him. So project program manager changes direction as required as per the organization strategic objectives, right? So program management is about managing multiple projects and their interdependencies, but not micromanaging each project. That is the accountability of the project manager. I hope you are getting a essence of your no idea. You can understand from your real life what is a project and what is a program. How program managers are different from project managers. If you're already a program manager, you should see, are you doing the way which I describe the program management? Or is there anyone in your organization who is doing that job, or partially or completely? Or is that a gap in the current organization? Do you think that you can replace it, or do you think it's worthwhile to replace that? Okay, that's something which definitely needs to be explored. But that is what is the essence of program management and the PGMP. I think personally it gives a lot of benefits if you know the tools and techniques. I always feel knowledge is a great intervention to your experience. Nobody can beat experience, but knowledge, theory can help you do better things than what you were doing previously, earlier, right? I just have a couple of slides on this. I'm just going to tell you about this. Also, I used it in my earlier slides, but I'm just going to run this slides in next 2 minutes before I open for question and answers. Uh, PGMP standard guide, okay, doesn't talk about examples, doesn't talk about how things are actually done in real life, how actual program works, what is a real program looks like, nothing of that sort. How is the artifact you need to develop, why you need to do, say, a benefit maps, nothing is explained. They're just told you should do A, B, C, D, E, F. It's not in order as well. PGMP doesn't work in order. So it becomes people who are not done programs and do not relate to program. Even a trainer who does not done programs cannot really explain. And that's where we come into play at ProThoughts. So I value PGMP program certification a lot, as if you implement. I have learned that during my I was doing a corporate job and I started implementing certain things with my manager's blessing. I got certain dividends. But if you are really doing a program, I would encourage you to do that. Right? Right. So I'm not going into what is ProThoughts material, but just before I open it, we are having a workshop on PGMP in March, a month later, and in April as well. We do it at the end of 40 or 45 days. Okay. So I would, if you are interested, will definitely, I would be loving, you can talk with me as well. And we have a PFMP, which is portfolio, on the April month here. I would love to be in touch with you. Okay, so I can share my LinkedIn profile with you so that we can connect. And now I would like to open as well. I'm just sending you my LinkedIn profile. Right, sorry about this. I was just trying to see if I can get my LinkedIn profile for you. Excuse me. So, yes, I'm sending it to everyone on the chat, my LinkedIn profile. So you can connect with me and happy to ask any questions on a personal way as well. But I would like now to open for questions and answer. So you can type your questions in the question panel about anything that you wish to ask about today's webinar in general as well. and I will be happy to answer your questions. Come on, any questions? Okay, superb. I got the first question, which is a quick question. Do PGMP involves in RFI code? Okay. Yes. So a program manager, if you are doing a program, they decide on procurement standards, policies, procedures of the no RFI, or know what to be done, how to select a seller. And that every process policies are decided at the governance board level in a program which the projects needs to follow. If you are selecting a vendor for the project manager will do the necessary steps to select the vendor. He may involve the program manager, but for a project, the decision is of the project manager. And for the program, if you want to select a vendor, the decision is of the program manager. Generally, a project manager selects a vendor because a project manager project is unique in nature and they can do that. But each organization has a different way of working, and you can do the needful there. I hope I answer your question, Ayan. Any other questions, please? Huh. Okay. While you are thinking about the questions, I am launching a poll about your feedback. Also, if you, sorry, I just, if you think any topic suggestions, you also can talk about that, because we like to know talk about topics which you want and prepare content on that, right? Please, any questions? I think no, as many people find PGMP, no, I done some short videos about myths about PGMP. Many people feel that program management is a little complex topic or something which is not. Actually, it's not a complex topic. It's a very, very enlightening topic. And the big boost for program management is that many organizations do not do program management. So I think it's a great opportunity. I tell that to every organization, every leader that I meet, that if you do it in a methodical way, the programs, you can actually save a lot of money. I'm currently doing a kind of a training consulting assignment for a large uh, beverage company, and they do plants, and the plant cost is around 1500 crores. I don't know, that's a astronomical cost, that's what they told me. And their project gets delayed, and that this is like a program they do, because they set up a plant. There is most of the challenge is socio-economical challenge, the villagers protest and everything, politicals motivated as well. The programs get that whole plan gets delayed by 6 months. That is like they incurred extra 400 crores because of that. So imagine you get sanctioned for 1500 crores, and if you do a program, you can actually do it like one time, no lesser than that, if you do it right, and also get benefits very quickly. You are saving so much of money. So in a program, there is a lot at stake. I was going to use the metro example, but I thought it was too complex. So in Mumbai Metro is also a program. One of their program manager attended our PGMP training, and there are 114 stations in Mumbai Metro. Each station is like a project. So the projects are huge. Okay, every project is really, really large, but a program manager needs to manage the interdependencies, so many things. It's a big program, and if you delay it, okay, there is a huge cost riding on that. So there is a lot at stake in a program. There is a lot at stake in a program. So I would know you. I want you to appreciate that to understand. So what is your opinion? Kushal is asking if change request got cancelled from client side after implementation. No, change request got cancelled from the client side after implementation. Oh, they told you to implement after you implemented, they say that I don't want a change. That's what you're asking. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, they need to pay for the efforts that you put it. But if it's an internal thing, okay, sometimes it can happen. Their priorities change or they don't want it. So that's where you need to evaluate. And so this is like a typical, our changes in program is whether to start a particular project because the project will give output. Uh, so we need to assess against risk and the capability and know that the evaluation should be very strong, Kushal, but it can happen. This can happen. And no, you need to observe the cost if it happens. But uh, to avoid this, your evaluation should be very strong. Evaluation not only about what is the impact in terms of money, why you require a change, what benefits it will give you, that kind of evaluation, whether it aligns to your thing, that aligns to your strategic objective or to your project output, that evaluation should be very strong. And no, if that is there, then the probability of change request getting cancelled might be lower. I hope I'm answering question. I don't have enough data, Kushal, on what you're asking, but I'm trying to answer to my best possible thing. Yeah. Guys, please fill the poll. That helps us a lot. Okay. There are no, I only got 45% polls thing. Please fill up. Uh, Hari is asking how does Certi helps in Middle East countries? It helps in every geography, program management, project management, domain agnostic. But Middle East, most of the program managers, Middle East is a great follower of US PMI for whatever reason it is. Next is China. Okay, so uh, they are the first ones to lap up the PMI certifications. But Middle East offers a great opportunity, especially in construction. All construction projects are no are large projects like metro construction, for example. This is a big program. No, I had done a consulting for I had developed a project management. We actually resell a project management software. One of our customers was a Saudi Arabian health hospital, and they were actually doing this program management. Uh, so lot of things are getting developed. Any developing projects, multiple projects, you are trying to achieve a strategic objective. Every company has a strategic objective. You need a program. So every strategic objective needs a program to manage that. Every large strategic objective needs a program. So these programs are typically for mid to large organizations. For small organizations, the program manager in itself will be like a CEO or a founder or whoever it is. So that may not warrant so many of the practices frameworks. So these practices and frameworks, tools and techniques are largely written for a large organization where there are multiple projects, but the concept can be used for small organizations as well. Hari, maybe I can touch base with you on a separate basis because I'm not getting a context of your question. How this certificate in Middle East countries, it helps in every countries where there is a strategic objective and you want to achieve that. Whereas increase of revenue, increase of market share, decrease cost, whatever the strategic objective, higher customer satisfaction, it's always true for any country. So maybe if you want to connect with me and spell out your context, I can really help you out. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay. I'm ending the poll. Thank you for the poll. And if there are no questions, okay, then I will close this, but we'll be in touch. Okay. I would encourage you to ask any questions on one-on-one as well. Yeah, I just shared my LinkedIn profile with you. I will more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. And your suggestions are most welcome to talk about program management or any other topic that you might be interested in. So thank you so much, guys, for your time, and be in touch and let us know your suggestions and comments as we go along. Thank you and warm namaste from my side.